fourth quarter. Shaquille O'Neal missing 3 dunks, 0 for 8 at the foul line. We try to check the record books in terms of worst free throw shooting performances in the history of NBA playoff competition. It's not in there now. But you mentioned Wilt Chamberlain might be in there in some form.
I don't think he had an 0 for big numbers, but for some 20 attempts, and now the Magic going, just leaving Tree Rollins in a one-on-one situation for Rick Smith. I'm not all surprised by that, because Brian Hill, I'm sure, worried about Reggie Miller getting a wide open look. Ball going inside to Smiths. No double, even after he puts the ball on the floor. It'll be interesting to see how the Pacers defend Penny Hardaway going the other way. Larry Brown has, on a couple of occasions, put Derek McKee, his best defensive player, on Penny Hardaway. And if he did that, he might put Mark Jackson maybe on Jeff Turner.
Rick Smiths hitting the front rim. 8 of 10 from the line. See Indiana 7 of 11 at the line here in the fourth quarter. 18 points for Smiths. Make it 19 along with 7 assists, which is a career playoff high. Indiana by 2. Derek McKee is guarding Penny Hardaway. Shot clock at 7. With the rebound.
Well, just that little half penetration by Hardaway drew Mark Jackson away, and that left Nick Anderson with a great look, and he had it halfway down.
Down to 35 seconds. Miller still having his difficulties in the fourth quarter. Indiana with a 2-point lead. A reminder, tomorrow night from San Antonio, Game 5 between Houston and San Antonio. Greg Gumbel, Steve Jones, Bill Walsh will have it for you right here on NBC starting at 9 Eastern time, and we'll be on hand in Orlando in prime time for Indiana and Orlando. Game number 5 Wednesday night. 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific. As the Indiana Pacers try to tie this series at 2. Orlando hoping to take a 3-1 lead, but it's Indiana with an 89-87 lead. Brian Shaw, who hobbled off earlier this fourth quarter, is back on Hill inbound. 28-10 seconds remaining in the fourth. 20 on the shot clock. They are on their feet at Market Square Arena. Hardaway once again guarded by McKee. Hardaway for Turner. Hardaway checking the clock. Backs it up to go now against Dale Davis. Here's Brian Shaw for 3. Brian Shaw, who hit a 3-pointer earlier, comes off the bench to knock it down from downtown, and Orlando now leads 90-89 with 13 and 3/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
Well, this two-man game set up with Jeff Turner and Penny Hardaway. I think the Magic anticipated Mark Jackson guarding Turner. He wasn't. Mark Jackson was guarding Brian Shaw. He stepped in to help. The penetration by Penny, and that set up Brian Shaw.
A huge shot by that man, Brian Shaw, signed as a free agent by Orlando after 2.5 years with Miami. Originally a first-round pick of the Celtics back in '88. The three-pointer giving the Magic a 1-point lead. Orlando taking the delay of the game to check out the Indiana alignment. 13 and 3/10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter, and Derek McKee will throw in.
Pacers have had success going inside to Rick Smith. The last time they did it, the Magic left Tree Rollins alone with him.
Indiana has 1 timeout left. They had some trouble getting it in. Down to 10 seconds. Jackson, Miller taking the shot, and it's in! A 3 for Reggie Miller to give Indiana a 2-point lead with 5 and 2/10 seconds to go in the fourth, and the Magic calling for time. Reggie Miller, who has been struggling in the fourth quarter, 1 for 5 prior to this.
Well, looked like a high screen roll with Smith. Mark Jackson forced
the Magic 90.
And it looks like Dennis Scott will be the inbound passer, and that is usually the man that will bust wide open with 5 seconds to go in the fourth quarter.
Scott throwing in from near midcourt. Brian Shaw with a three-pointer to give Orlando the lead. Reggie Miller answering with the three to give Indiana the lead. Delay of game taken by Miller. Larry Brown able to check things out. Now telling Miller to drop off Scott. Hardaway down to three. Here is the three-pointer. Yes! With 1 3/10 seconds to go. Anthony Hardaway hits the three. An amazing finish here at Market Square Arena, Indiana. Orlando with the 1-point lead. You see 1 3/10 seconds remaining. Both clubs have used all their timeouts. Indiana hanging back in the huddle. The officials trying to get them to make their move back onto the floor. You hear the whistle blowing. Orlando is ready. Larry Brown taking his time and mapping it out.
Already one delay of game warning. It could be another one. I don't think the officials would call in this situation. Normally you would like to have the ball being challenged on the pass inbounds, but with Reggie Miller, probably the guy that's going to get the catch here. A good idea to take the man guarding the passer and just track Reggie and watch where he goes.
All right, McKee will throw in. It's got to be a catch and shoot. Here it is. Smith with the catch and the shot. Indiana Pacers have won at the buzzer. Successive clutch shots, concluding with this. Rick Smith with the move on Tree Rollins, able to hit. The Pacers win it 94-93, and this series is tied at 2.
Well, they were looking for Reggie Miller. He was played perfectly. Smith was the second option, and actually Tree Rollins trying to take away that first shot with just 1.3 left. Smith able to get the fake and then the step in. The game winner as Larry Brown sitting there, calm as you can be, but saying, hey, we'll take it.
4 lead changers, the final 13 seconds for the 1-point victory. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Mark. Reggie, we talked the other day. You guys just don't know how to do it the easy way. Well, you got to give the Magic a lot of credit. They hung in there in the fourth quarter, took the lead, but we came back. It was a big heart from this team. The big fella, I love this guy. He came through. All right, Rick, it seems to me you got your offensive game going now.
Yeah, a little bit. That last shot, I knew we had enough time to give him a fake. I stepped through, I tried to draw a foul, but I saw him go by me, so I just put it up.
All right, you guys have evened it up. We will see you Wednesday in Orlando.
Sounds good, Ahmad.
All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, Ahmad. The Indiana Pacers leading by as many as 12. Orlando able to get back into it. They lost Shaquille O'Neal and Horace Grant on fouls. And then 4 consecutive clutch shots down the stretch. It ends with that man, Rick Smith, winning it at the buzzer. The series tied at 2. The Pacers 94 and the Magic 93 in a classic. Marv Albert, Matt Guokas, and Ahmad Rashad saying so long from Indianapolis. This has been the NBA on NBC.